Hi there, I'm James Brayshaw. I'm so glad you're going to take a few minutes of your time to go over a very important topic about when Jesus cast the demons into swine. I had a request from a YouTube viewer the other day to actually go through this. So we're going to do it in 4 minutes or less because, folks, your time is that important, and I want to make sure we just get the main points out so we're not rambling on and on. We can refer you to the Imaginal Satan series. I'll put a link up where you can read the entire chapter on this topic. But some things we need to know is this. That particular event occurred when there was a lot of Aramaic cultural ideas and beliefs and understandings going on. Yeshua, Jesus Christ, the apostles, the early Hebrew believers were functioning in an Aramaic/Hebraic society. So we find that it was not a Greek culture, which leads us to the next understanding of the word al, or the word for attack as we found it in the passageway. And we'll scroll the passage up after this video, but I want you to know that the word, according to Aramaic scholars, meant not to enter into, but to attack. When the demoniacs, the men in the cemetery, asked to go enter into this herd of swine, they were actually if they could attack the herd of swine. And the word used in that passage, daimonitzomai, was a term that didn't mean somebody is actually filled or inhabited by a demonic supernatural entity. It's a word that meant a person was struggling with an illness or a malady or some very severe situation. In fact, we find all throughout the biblical history and biblical text, demon and demonion means a person might have an illness or a false belief or idea or a few other things which we're not covering today. We also find that there were lunatics in the period who were often cast away. They were ostracized as pariahs, and they were asked to go stay in the cemeteries and catacombs. That was the perfect setup for the exorcists who would travel around. There were men of renown who would travel from town to town. They would go out to catacombs and cemeteries, and they would try to exorcise the demonians, the demons, the demoniacs in the cemetery. And these men and women in the cemetery, they felt that torment of these men when they come and ply their trade of exorcism on them. But when the Messiah was traveling with his men, it's interesting, he traveled there at noon, the text says. And these men in the cemetery were afraid because he said, "Why are you here to torment us before the time?" For them, the time meant after supper. But here he was there at lunch. This was not a reference to an eternal judgment of a supernatural spirit being. So the 10th Roman Regiment, we need to know about that as well if we're going to understand that passage. There was a marching band of Roman soldiers, the 10th Roman Regiment. They marched in the area to patrol it. They marched under the banner of the boar or the swine. So was it possible that that was the group that was driven into the sea or attacked by the people in the cemetery after they were liberated from their illness by the Messiah? So it's the next point we're going to look at is driving someone into the sea is a euphemism for pushing back a military group. It doesn't necessarily mean that 2,000 pigs were seen cascading down a cliff 6 to 10 miles away, according to the geography, into the sea. Is it okay for the God of the universe coming as the Messiah, if that's who Jesus was, to kill a herd of swine? Well, he would have been punished as a criminal if he would have killed thousands of swine at his word. And it was very clear to everybody in the city that this man who caused this to happen needed to leave the area. Not because he was a swine killer, but because he was the one that liberated men who then attacked the Roman regiment, and repercussions were going to come upon the entire area by the Roman legion and the Roman military. Lastly, if you were a demon and you were requesting of the Messiah, "Hey, I'm in this living thing, you're going to cast me out, can I go inhabit another living thing?" You would have to say no. The demons would have to receive a no from the Messiah. The Messiah doesn't honor the request of demons to go inhabit other living things. So I want you to look at this passage closely again through new eyes, and please get in touch with me if you have any questions. I can be contacted at jrbrayshaw@shaw.ca, or do look at the imaginalsatan.com website, where you're going to be able to see this entire chapter from volume 3, Who's the Devil Jesus Knew, and it'll explain all of these points and more. Thanks for taking your 4 minutes. I'm James Brayshaw. Have a great day.
Matthew 8:28-34. And when Yeshua came to the other side into the country of the Gergesenes, there met him 2 who were devils, which is to say social outcasts, because of their radical behavior associated with their mental illness. They were seen coming out of the tombs exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. And behold, they cried out, saying, "What have we to do with thee, Yeshua, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us early in the day?" They asked this of him because other men of renown and traveling exorcists would often come to torment the mentally insane after dining with friends in the evening. And there was a good way off a Roman regiment called the 10th Legion. This well-known regiment marched under the banner of the boar. They were resting and taking nourishment. So the men who were struggling with their devils of mental illness asked Yeshua if he was going to send them away. Could they go attack the 10th Roman Legion? Performing dramatic expressions was a usual way in their culture to show their loyalty to one such as Yeshua. Yeshua simply told them go, and when they were released to go, they went and attacked the Roman regiment. The fury with which they attacked the soldiers was amazing. It is said they drove them over a cliff into the sea, because the regenerated lunatics actually caused the Roman regiment to make haste and retreat from the area, as if they had been defeated by the band of madmen. We might say they were driven into the sea. Those who had been assigned to care for the regiment fled for fear that they might be attacked, and they went and told some people in the city what had gone on with the men who were called devils because of their mental illness.